A long time ago, in a village far, far away, or maybe yesterday and around the corner, or maybe somewhere in between, there was a small village that was nestled in the side of the mountain. And the villagers loved their mountain. They loved its streams, they loved its forests, they loved feeling protected, and they loved that on the side of the mountain was chiseled in huge letters. Okay, let's try that again. Was chiseled in huge letters. Yes. And this was so helpful because whenever they had a question, they knew the answer. The mountain was there to tell them the answer all of the time. And this was very comforting. It's very nice to have someone else always tell you the answer. And so they lived in peace and harmony, and whenever anyone had a question, they went up to the mountain and it said, "The answer is no." Great. Everything is going great. We're all in unison, so this is where we caused some trouble. So one day, Ma Custis was having one of those days where she could not figure out what to make for dinner. Have you ever stared into your refrigerator, glazed, I know there's food here, but just me? Okay. Ma Custis was having one of those days, but she lived next to Answer Mountain, so no problem. She goes to Answer Mountain. She says, "Okay, Mountain, should I make liver for dinner tonight?" The answer is no. Okay, yeah, that's probably true. No one really likes liver, but that was the first thing that came to mind. So she's like, "Okay, not liver. Should I make steak for dinner tonight?" The answer is no. Stew? The answer is no. What about some sort of broccoli and tofu situation? Okay, well then what am I supposed to make for dinner if every answer is no? So Ma Custis kept asking, and the answer kept being no and no and no. So all through the evening and all through the next day, she kept asking. She couldn't figure out what to make for dinner. Her family went to bed hungry. They spent the whole day not eating anything, and finally she just made liver, not because she liked it, but it was the first thing that came to mind, and her family was not happy about this. Now, I feel like I want to take a moment and defend liver, iron-rich food, really good for you. But in my experience, small children, not the biggest fans. So Ma Custis is like, my whole family's mad at me. I couldn't get a good answer. This is not working. This mountain is not helping me make accurate and helpful decisions. So she rang the town bell and stamped her foot and said, "We need a town meeting." So everyone came running downtown to have this town meeting because I got to tell you that in this village under the mountain, it was nice and it was peaceful, it was cozy, a little boring, not much to do. So town meeting was always a happening. And Ma Custis says, this mountain is not helping us. Saying no to everything is not working for us anymore. And the people kind of grumbled because it had always said no. It's hard to change a thing when it's always been that way. But they were like, okay, fair enough. I've sometimes asked it some questions that no didn't really seem like the right answer to. So they talked, and I think they broke out into subcommittees. It's kind of like church. And finally they decided that what the mountain should say is the answer is yes. Okay? So are y'all ready for what your new task is going to be? Have you got there ahead of me? Good job. Okay, so the town mason was like, okay, I think I can do that. It's going to take a little while, but I think I can change it to the answer is yes. So for 2 weeks, the town mason went up every morning really early, worked on the mountain and the words on the mountain, and 2 weeks later, they rang the town bells again, and everyone came running because now the mountain said, the answer is yes. And Ma Custis was like, well, I'm the one who started this whole thing. I should get to ask the first question. But then I was like, wait, what do I ask? Oh, wait, I know. Should I make liver for dinner tonight? What? No! That is not a good idea. No one liked it. My husband is mad at me. My kids are threatening to hide in the barn. I promised I wouldn't make liver again. Should I break my word? The answer is yes. this seems to be a problem. Maybe just having one answer is insufficient. And this was not a popular idea because we had had answers for a really long time. But there were some people, especially those Custis kids who really didn't want more liver, were like, well, okay, maybe we should talk about it. So they broke out into their little small groups again to caucus and talk about what that should say on the mountain. And finally they decided, I think it should say this. And this one you guys don't have to memorize. The answer is sometimes yes, and sometimes no, and sometimes wait and see, and sometimes both. And the Mason said, well, yeah, I can probably do that. Even though, I just finished doing this. But it's going to take a while. I'm not getting up every morning at dawn to do this long thing. So maybe we should just put a sign up on the mountain while I work on it. And everyone agreed that that was a pretty good idea. So for the first couple of days, the Mason would go up and he'd work on it for a little bit, and people would eagerly await the answer and not ask any questions because they were waiting for the answer. And then they were like, well, we got to ask some questions. And then they thought, we could ask each other questions, and we might have answers. And sometimes different questions have different answers, but sometimes the same question also has different answers. And the stonemason got a little tired of schlepping up there, and it seemed like people were getting along just fine, so he kind of quiet quit. And the people, after a couple months of this, realized that the answer was not really necessary, so they just left the sign that they had put up during all of this brouhaha, which said, the answer is under construction. So I think all of our young people are going to go upstairs where you probably will not get any firm answers, but you might ask some interesting questions. And we're going to sing.